You know that feeling when you spend 3 hours making the most color-coded, Pinterest perfect, time-blocked schedule, every hour assigned, every task in its own little box. And then by 9:47 a.m., you haven't done a single thing? Not because you're lazy, not because you do not care, but because your brain looked at it and was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Absolutely not. I lived that loop for 2 semesters at Berkeley. Today, with a proper diagnosis of why traditional time blocking cannot work for an ADHD brain and the system I actually use instead. Let me take you back to my sophomore year. I had 3 exams, 2 lab reports, and an economic problem set to finish. So what did I do? I made a schedule, a beautiful schedule, a color-coded one color-coded by subject, each hour blocked from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I even built in transition time between the subjects because a productivity video told me to do it. So I did. I was so proud of it. And then I sat down at 8 a.m. and I was like, I couldn't move. I just sat there staring at the block that said biochemistry 8 to 9:30. My brain didn't care what the block said. My brain wanted something different, something interesting, something novel, something that was not biochemistry in 8 a.m. Not biochemistry 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. And that's not a willpower failure. That's literally just ADHD. And the system was never built for us. Okay, so let's do what we always do here. Start with a diagnosis before we get a prescription. You cannot treat it, you do not know it. Traditional time blocking was built on a specific assumption that your brain can execute a task simply because a time block have been assigned to it. For neurotypical brains, this works. Your routine activates the prefrontal cortex. The brain goes and be like, okay, let's do it. But our brain has what researchers call time blindness. We don't exercise time as a linear sequence of hours. We exercise it with 2 modes. Right now, not right now, nothing else. So when your schedule says biochemistry 8 to 9:30, your brain is like, that is not right now. 9:30, that is like in an hour and a half. So that is not right now. And my brain is like looking for something else to fill the right now. Something urgent, novel, and emotionally activating. That's why I love TikTok, especially debates ones, because they trigger me. That is not healthy. Do not do that. Do not rage bait yourself like all day. This is literally why I spend 5 hours doing literally everything except the thing that I actually wanted to do. It's not because you do not care. Like, I love medicine. I want to get best grades so I can be able to pursue that. It's because my brain is literally starving for the right neurochemical signal to begin. The second problem is the guilt architecture. Every time you fail to execute a time block, you place a brick on what I call the wall of guilt. Over time, those bricks turn simple tasks like open your textbook into something that feels more like a mountain to climb. That is not a metaphor. It's literally what chronic shame does to task initiation. It's a real neurological barrier. The system was not designed for us. So let's talk about what actually is. Before the prescription, one thing. If you're thinking, but I've seen people with ADHD use time blocking and it worked. You're right. Adapted versions of it can work. And I'll let you exactly know when at the end of the video. What most of us need first is a completely different relationship with time. Not blocking it, containing it. Stay with me. Here's the first piece of the prescription. Stop planning by time. Start planning by energy. This is the foundation of the ADHD stack. The system I've been building and refining all semester. Before you open your planner, you do a 24-hour energy scan. Grab your leather journal or your notes app, whatever just feels right to you right now, and ask yourself 3 questions. 1, when in the day do I feel naturally alert? Not when I'm supposed to work. No, when does your brain actually come alive? For me, it's at 9 p.m. Don't know why, it just is. 2, when does my brain completely go offline? For most of us, it's probably in the morning or like post-lunch, roughly at like 1 to 3 p.m. That is not the time to schedule biochemistry. 3, what kind of tasks can I actually execute in each zone? High focus zone, hard tasks, what you actually need to be doing. Problem sets, studying, writing. On the low task, just admin, work, emails, reviewing notes, flashcards, just stuff that you can do while you're walking or while you're in the sitting on the toilet. Now, and this matters, even inside your high focus zone, our brain still needs what I call the incup method activation to actually start. As we said, incup is I, interest, and novelty. C, challenge, U, urgency, P, passion. Our brain don't activate on demand. They activate on a dopamine signal. Every task needs at least one incup element to become executable. This is why studying alone in silence often fails. No novelty, no urgency, nothing interesting is happening. But studying in a new cafe, or with a body doubling timer, or framing materials as puzzles, suddenly incup activates and you go, I want to do that. Okay, real quick. If this is landing for you, save this video. I know how many of us stuck in the time blocking guilt spiral I just described. And the only thing we need was someone to say your brain works differently. And that's okay. Share it with someone who actually needs to hear this. Okay, so now you know when your brain is actually available. Let's talk about how to structure tasks inside those windows. Forget time block. We use time containers. The difference is subtle, but it changes everything. A time block says biochemistry for 8 to 9:30. Do it. On the other hand, a time container says, I have a 90-minute container. I'll put biochemistry in it. But how much I complete depends on really how much energy I have and how much my brain can afford to do this. A container is flexible. It's not a rigid block. And rigid structure always breaks ADHD brain. So when we need structure, that depends. So we need structure that bends instead of breaking. Here's how I built mine. Step 1, the night before. Like right now, I'm saying the night before. I do not mean like 3 weeks in advance. I mean like right now. What am I gonna do tomorrow? I write 3 tasks. Only 3 tasks. No fourth, just 3. This protects me from overscheduling. And overscheduling, less time, stresses me out, makes me guilt trip myself, and you know, the spiral also. Step 2, I assign each task into an energy zone. Not a clock time, an energy. This task goes to my high focus morning container. This one goes to my low focus afternoon container. For example. Step 3, I use energy blocking. Not time blocking, energy. I'm not saying biochemistry at 8 a.m. I'm saying when my brain enters at the high focus mode, I start biochemistry for 90 minutes. The beautiful thing, you stop losing the guilt battle because there is no battle. You are not failing a time block. You are moving fluidly with your container. The last piece, and the one I get the most pushback on. Rest first. Most of us were taught that rest is something you earn after work. Study for 3 hours, then you can watch some. For our brains, it's actually backwards. Our dopamine system needs a baseline reset before we can actually focus. Sitting down to study when you're already depleted at like 3%, you cannot run the full application. So before you start, or before I start my high focus container, I do 20 minutes of what my brain actually wants. A walk, painting, music, watching a video, watching my show, whatever feels right and whatever fills me back up. And then I begin. I know it feels weird and it feels like kind of illegal to do, especially for those of us that are coming from a high expectation background where rest literally feels like the biggest moral failure. But in truth, dopamine depletion kills your executive function. You cannot build focus on an empty system. You're not lazy for needing this. You have a brain running on a different operating system, and that is okay. That's not a flaw, that is just a fact. So let's put this full stack together. Here is what a real day looks like. Morning, open journal, do the 24-hour energy scan. Write 3 tasks, assign them to energy zones, and then 20 minutes of resting. First, high focus container. Activate incup, change location, set a timer, body double if needed. Open 1 task, not the planner, just 1 task. Use destimulation if needed. Headphones, low light, reduce sensory input. Post focus reset. Close the tasks, do not open it, add the new one immediately. Small reset. Walk, stretch for 10 minutes, 20, 30, as much as you need. Then you enter your low focus zone. Only the miscellaneous stuff that you need to finish by tomorrow. Then you end your day. You open your journal, write what you did complete, not what you didn't, and set your 3 tasks for tomorrow. That's the whole system. No color-coded, impossible schedule. No 16-hour rigid grid. Just structure that moves with your brain, not against it. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Traditional time blocking isn't wrong as a concept. It just assumes a neurotypical relationship with time, urgency, and initiation, which is not the case with an ADHD brain. Our brains are wired based on interest and energy, not clock obedience. So instead of trying to become a different kind of person, become a better engineer of your own actual environment and accommodate your time. Our diagnosis is time blindness plus a dopamine deficit equals time blocking fails us. So what is the prescription? Energy stack, time containers, and resting. If you want to try one of those things today, do your 24-hour scan tonight. If you want to try just one thing of what I told you today, do your 24-hour energy scan tonight. tonight. Just notice what your brain is trying to show you. That's step 1. And if you're one of my Sewa Leafy girls and guys who made it all the way here, drop a moon in my comments below. It tells me that you are here and that you're one of us. If you want a follow-up that shows you my real study week using this system, tell me below and I'll try my best to make it. I hope that you really enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching it. If you really did enjoy, please watch my last video on how to actually work with to-do lists and how to accommodate your ADHD brain with them. Again, I really thank you for being here today. Please like, subscribe, and share, and turn on your notifications. I hope to see you next time, and bye-bye.